2016 was in a meeting at the White House where it was discussed that by Brennan, then CIA director, that there was intelligence that maybe the Clinton campaign was trying to cook up a narrative that Trump was a Russian asset?
Senator, I believe that has been reported publicly, but I cannot comment on that.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you. Now, this is a campaign for president in 2016. In July, they open up Crossfire Hurricane. In August, they have a discussion in front of President Biden that there's intel that maybe this is generated by his political opponent. Their warrant is being sought, or a defendant, that there's exculpatory information out there about you.
In general, of course, Senator.
So, to the country, the FBI director gets a memo from the intel community. This may be all a political plot by his opponent. They didn't do a damn thing. Are you familiar with the Steele dossier?
Yes, Senator.
That was a dossier prepared and paid for by the Clinton campaign. Are you aware that it was that document was used to get a warrant on 5 different occasions against Carter Page, an American citizen? From my point of view. Now let's get back to the topic sort of at hand here about how the law is being used politically. In September 2022, Attorney General James from New York basically said in a campaign that she would go after Trump, his business transactions, and his family with full force. November the 15th, 2022, Trump announces his candidacy for president. November 2022, 3 days after Trump announced his re-election campaign, Jack Smith was appointed by Garland to be special counsel to look at classified information, document mishandling, and trying to undermine the 2020 election. In March, President Trump was indicted in Manhattan of 2023, just after announcing 34 felony counts. And what they did is they took misdemeanors and turned them into felonies by using a legal theory that no one in the history of Manhattan had ever been charged with. June 2023, a federal grand jury in the District Court for the Southern District of Florida indicted President Trump on 37 charges regarding classified information. Now, all I can say is that taking a hammer to a hard drive in bleach bit apparently doesn't make the cut. Having documents in the garage of President Biden doesn't make the cut. In August of 2023, he was indicted yet again regarding the 2020 election. So all I can say is that in September 27th, Jack Smith's team asked for my phone records and 7 other senators. Now that's just the 2024 election. Comey, are you aware of the fact that in August, Comey, then director CIA, FBI, August of 2016, was in a meeting at the White House where it was discussed that by Brennan, then CIA director, that there was intelligence that maybe the Clinton campaign was trying to cook up a narrative that Trump was a Russian asset?
Senator, I believe that has been reported publicly, but I cannot comment on that.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you. Now, this is a campaign for president in 2016. In July, they open up Crossfire Hurricane. In August, they have a discussion in front of President Biden that there's intel that maybe this is generated by his political opponent. Nothing happened. In September, are you aware of the fact that the intelligence community sent a memo to the FBI director detailing intelligence that suggests it's Clinton's campaign is behind the idea that Trump is colluding or cooperating with the Russians?
Senator, I believe that has been reported.
And that was addressed to the FBI director and Mr. Strzok, this memo. Are you aware that he told this committee, I don't recall that, the FBI director?
Senator, I can't discuss anything.
Well, I can
regarding
tell
that.
you this. What the hell would you recall? You're the sitting FBI director. There's a campaign for president going on. You've opened up an investigation believing that the Republican candidate may be a Russian asset. And now all of a sudden, less than a month later, 2 months later, you have two inquiries, two events to suggest it may be his political opponent. Did anybody in the FBI inform the FISA court or anyone else about this activity that you know of?
I can't discuss that matter, as you know, Senator Graham.
Should they have? Is there a requirement by law enforcement to tell the court if their warrant is being sought or a defendant that there's exculpatory information out there about you?
In general, of course, Senator.
So, to the country, the FBI director gets a memo from the intel community. This may be all a political plot by his opponent. They didn't do a damn thing. Are you familiar with the Steele dossier?
Yes, Senator.
That was a dossier prepared and paid for by the Clinton campaign. Are you aware that it was that document was used to get a warrant on 5 different occasions against Carter Page, an American citizen?
Yes, Senator, and that has been
Are you
reported.
aware of the fact in February 2017, after Trump is president, the person who gave Christopher Steele the information, the Russian guy, told the FBI the information I provided you was all bar talk, hearsay, and not reliable? Are you aware of that?
Yes, Senator.
Was there ever an effort by the FBI to tell the FISA court about evidence that the man who helped prepare the document retracted his statement?
I can't discuss that, Senator.
Should there have been?
Can't discuss that.
You wonder why we're looking at Comey? Give me a break. Why are we looking at Comey? Because he ran an FBI and personally knew about exculpatory information and let it slide. How in the hell can 2 FBI agents interview a man who says the document you're using against a sitting president to suggest he may be a Russian agent or Carter Page that is now no longer reliable? How does that not get to the court? Can you tell me how that doesn't get to the court? You can't, can you?
I can't, Senator, and I
Can
can't
you tell me
discuss it.
why my phone records, when I'm the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, were sought by the Jack Smith agents? Why did they ask to know who I called and what I was doing from January 4th to the 7th? Can you tell me that?
No, Senator, and there were 8 senators in total.
Yeah. Do you think that was an abuse of power?
Senator, I cannot discuss whether there is or is not an ongoing investigation. If I may add one thing, they also wasted $50 million on what you just described, trying to put President Trump in jail prior to the election.
Before Senator Whitehouse, I want to introduce into the record what is called the Durham Annex.
Tuesday's Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, Senator Lindsey Graham took a sharp and confrontational tone as he laid out a chronological series of legal and political events surrounding Donald Trump and the investigations tied to him. He began by underscoring what he described as a pattern, that the legal system has been weaponized against Trump from the moment he re-entered the political arena in 2022. Graham pointed to New York Attorney General Letitia James's campaign pledge to go after Trump, framing it as an early signal of politically motivated lawfare. He noted that just 3 days after Trump announced his candidacy for the 2024 presidential election, special counsel Jack Smith was appointed, and shortly thereafter, a wave of indictments followed. Graham characterized these legal actions as unprecedented, highlighting the use of what he called a novel legal theory in Manhattan to elevate misdemeanor charges to felonies. He contrasted this aggressive approach toward Trump with how cases involving Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden's handling of classified material were treated, suggesting a glaring double standard. Graham then shifted to concerns about government overreach. He revealed that his own phone records, along with those of 7 other senators, were requested by Jack Smith's team. This disclosure painted a picture of a Justice Department willing to target even sitting lawmakers, raising profound questions about surveillance, political intimidation, and boundaries of prosecutorial power. The senator also revisited the origins of the Trump-Russia narrative. He cited an August 2016 White House meeting where then CIA Director John Brennan reportedly briefed officials about intelligence indicating the Clinton campaign might be manufacturing a Russia collusion story. Despite this, the FBI pressed ahead with its investigation. Graham emphasized how crucial exculpatory information, including the unreliability of the Steele dossier's sources, was never shared with the FISA court. For him, this represented not just negligence but a willful decision to allow a politically tainted narrative to shape federal investigations. His frustration boiled over as he questioned why the FBI director at the time, James Comey, failed to disclose such information to the court. Graham's repeated, "I can't discuss that," responses from officials highlighted what he framed as a wall of institutional silence protecting those involved. He cast these events not as isolated missteps but as a broader pattern of selective justice, where power is applied based on politics rather than principle. Graham's commentary was as much an accusation as it was a warning, a claim that the credibility of federal law enforcement is eroding when investigations appear driven by politics rather than fairness. The hearing for him was not just about relitigating the past, it was a direct challenge to how political power is exercised through legal channels in the present.